essentially today Onkar means to you? Guru Nanak is seen as the Kali Yuga avatar of Lord Vishnu? Or is it that there is an innate desire inside every Punjabi to once in a lifetime become charitable?
During COVID, Onkar really worked for me.
PVR INOX Limited, the merger of the two leading business houses which were the entertainers for us.
Said it's not a business that is alien to me. If you keep doing one business over a long time, you better understand how to do that business.
What is it like to manage so many shareholders, 1700 plus screens across India and Sri Lanka?
INOX did not have much debt on its, and we had debt. We felt that if we put the two together, the company will become much more strong.
Which was the last movie that you saw in your own cinema house? Pathan, Jawan, Dunki, or any other movie?
I saw last night in this cinema.
Recent Netflix example which you gave of the Arches is a worrying concern for me when the dynasts or the nepo kids
Of these actors go there. I'm 100% sure they'll come on the big screen.
For this affluent businessman who has lived his life in anonymity, albeit with a lot of obscurity, is making a powerful debut through his singing. And that singing comes at a time when all of us post-COVID have been searching for that connection with the spiritual power. He's also someone who has brought us closer to the 70mm screen all these last 20 to 25 years or so. But it is this essential spirit with which he's going to talk to us about his divine connection, why he did so, and what is the future of such affluent businessmen who often venture into these spiritual trips. Welcome to the show, the MD of PVR Group. Of course, sir, it's been privilege knowing you all these years from the fringes. What essentially today Onkar means to you, and also the fact that is it because of the fact that Guru Nanak is seen as the Kali Yuga avatar of Lord Vishnu, or is it that there is an innate desire inside every Punjabi to once in a lifetime become charitable and give his spiritual thoughts more dominance than anything else?
First of all, thank you for having me here. It's just that I've been very fond of singing, and when you sing Hindi songs, English songs, and bhajans. So I've been very fond of bhajans as well. My mom has brought us up in such a way that we have a temple in my Rohtak Road house as well, and in my Vasant Vihar house as well. And because I was fond of singing, rather than just reciting the poem by prayers by reading them, I started singing those. Hanuman Chalisa by Shekhar, and also Harshdeep Kaur and A. Rahman's version of Onkar.
That's very seminal.
Yeah, so these are the ones I really enjoyed singing, and of course there's so many other bhajans that I sing. And during COVID, Onkar really worked for me, and my mom, who was there to guide, and my children, my wife, my 3 children.
Did you get affected by COVID at that time?
Very badly, because business was affected, and and personally I was quite impacted by it. But I found this as a release. I reconnected to singing, and so I just different songs, different prayers, they mean different things to everybody. I just found a lot of so not because of any religious affiliation, just generally anything that gives you a peace is something that you should sing, and I like this a lot, and I'm going to probably do other songs, other prayers as well of other religious affiliations. So I just spoke to Shekhar and I said, listen, I've been singing this, I really enjoy it, and can you do a rendition for me of Onkar? I'm doing with my band, I do cover songs, English songs, Hindi songs, but I want to get into recording. I said, before I start my original recording songs that I want to do, let me first record a rendition of Onkar. And he brought the music and shared with me what he had in mind, the melody, the Vaheguru loop, and I said, wow, this is very good. I made few of the people whose judgment I trust that listen, what do you think of this? They all liked it, and that's how it all happened. So it wasn't, and I'm not on any spiritual journey because I've got a lot of work to do. I have a company to run. No, I'm just saying that I'm as spiritual as the next guy who does believe that there is somebody up there to ensure that the difference between what is right and what is wrong. That's all. And you have to do a good job of all the multifaceted roles that we play in life. But this was really to start off this singing side hobby, not the main career, side hobby, with something that I really liked. But it just grew organically.
Right.
First, Shekhar did a fabulous job. Then Rakesh Omprakash Mehra, who I approached to do a video, suddenly came out of this thing that let's do it in Patthar Sahib in Leh Ladakh, which I'd never been to. So organically, it just became something which became very exciting for me. And then suddenly, Rajkumar Hirani, Shah Rukh, and Bhushan Kumar and Preetam all agreeing to put my song in their album in Dunki. And also, it's there somewhere in the background. I still haven't seen the movie. I'm going to see it maybe tomorrow. So it all just turned out to be something amazing. So I'm quite excited about it.
No, I mean, of course, I have often felt and believed that people with latent talents, the hidden talents, are also the most successful people in this country. It can be Prime Minister, it can be an actor as well, whether it is reading, dividing time between music as a hobby, hagiography, collecting stamps or anything. Is it that because you have had this latent desire to sing, or is it that something which came at a time when Dunki was getting promoting?
I've been singing all my life, but I took you said modern school. I was in modern school as well. I used to sing there as well. I was in a choir over there. A lot of competitions for school I did.
Correct.
Then I went to college again. I sang in Hindu and I made a band. So it was just something that I was doing, but I completely lost touch of it. And because in 1990 I started the cinema business. So it's been 33 years now since I opened Priya.
Right.
And so that became like my passion to build cinema. So it took a backseat. But during COVID, I needed something other than thinking about the business, which had completely got decimated. I mean, our business was completely down in the dumps. So I needed a release, a respite. So therefore, I once again said, listen, I need to get into my passion. And it started with...
It is here you found your calling.
Yeah.
Many people also believe that because of the fact that PVR Pictures as a production house ventured into Tare Zameen Par and Jaane Tujhe Jaane Na, brought you closer to Rakesh Omprakash Mehra and Amir Khan, both these people as well. Of course, Rakesh is part of this project. You are going to work with them in future as well?
You know, because I did 2 films with Amir, so, and I've always liked him as an actor. We became friends. But yeah, PVR Pictures did bring me close to a lot of people because I was doing production very seriously. Shekhar also did music for a movie called Shanghai.
Right.
Then Rakesh, I did a very small movie with also. So yeah, I mean, in this business, you are joined at the hip with the film fraternity, and on the other side with the developers, real estate developers. So we are in the middle of it. So you do develop friendships and you do develop affiliations. But currently we're doing more distribution business rather than production business, not production at the moment.
In fact, I must tell you that from my own memory, if my memory is not failing, that Rakesh has actually used Guru Nanak Dev Ji's hymns quite significantly, whether it was Bhag Milka Bhag or Rang De Basanti as well. Both of them. In the flight also he uses that. Someone who tries to introduce us to how the flight culture during those days was, how people used to feel iffy in sitting in the flight. Then Nanak Naam Jahaz hai.
Correct.
So he also sort of introduced. So it comes as no surprise to me that he chose to shoot you.
Actually, I chose him. मैंने phone किया था. मैंने कहा please, because he's busy in a very.
Was it because of these 2 films?
No, just somebody. He's done 200 ad films before he actually made the movies, and just suddenly naturally like the way I got gravitated towards Shekhar because of his Hanuman Chalisa, I got gravitated towards Rakesh Omprakash Mehra to make a video. And honestly, I didn't know he was free. He just generally, or he made himself free.
Right.
And he heard the Vaheguru version and he said, यार कर लेते हैं, but मेरे को time दो, मैं बताऊंगा कहाँ करना है. Let's do something very exciting.
But I said, recite these prayers inside your home as well, otherwise?
Yeah, every morning.
On every morning.
And Hanuman Chalisa and so many others.
Coming to your business as well, I mean, of course, Mr. Bijli, that PVR INOX Limited, the merger of the 2 leading business houses which were the entertainers for us, which brought the entertainment closer to us from Bollywood, completed this year in February. what is it like to manage so many shareholders, 1700 plus screens across India and Sri Lanka? I mean, it's an enormous responsibility to shoulder the responsibility with the Jains and the other family as well. It's of course is a challenge and a monumental challenge.
It is, but you know, that's all I do. You know, I've only run cinemas and I've only managed partnerships all my life. So in fact, Priya single screen cinema, till I did a joint venture with Village Road Show, was probably the only time I was running a business on my own. But the day even PVR opened, it was a joint venture. So, and then when Village Road Show exited, Renuka Ramnath came.
Right.
And she was also a partner, like a 40% partner, although not a strategic partner, but a financial partner. So in fact, if you look at my journey, I've had partners all my life. And then I listed the company in 2006. So it's been like quite a few number of years now to run a listed company as well. But of course, this is another challenge. How do you run one
Here
more?
the challenges also require you to approach the commercial areas, authorities, and then lead a team as well. Everything has to be brass tacks led by you as well, whether it is the commercial aspects, lining up with the film distributors, getting the screens available. And for what we have recently seen, of course, there's a fight going on, which I'm going to come to later, between two films as well, Dunki and Salar. Distribution is also is not a very easy task. It's a Herculean task to manage with the distributors, to acquire the films rights, and then of course see the possibility whether this is going to do well or not. So how did you overcome those challenges at a time when you had just come out of COVID and then yet into dovetail your business into acquisition?
Well, you see, COVID was a terrible time. There was no question about it. So first I'll tell you, I'll give you a little bit of a slightly longer answer, that when you say how do you manage, so when you're running a listed company, you can't manage things on your own at all. You need to have a very, very good team. So to get out of COVID, first of all, the investors, shareholders, my CFO, the brand equity that PVR built with the investors and banking helped us in raising liquidity. We did a QIP of 800 crores. We did a rights issue of roughly 300 to 400 crores. So that ensured that we survived. Our relationship with the developers also helped us, okay, because we were able to get rental reliefs from everybody. So then of course, yet we found that to get out of these situations is not enough. You still need to make the balance sheet much stronger. Because INOX did not have much debt on its, and we had debt, we not acquired, it's a merger. So in the merged entity, we felt that if we put the two together, the company will become much more strong.
But PVR still is 10% plus shareholding in
yeah, and they're about 16%. Yeah, so it's a merged entity where a share swap happened. And so therefore, it was a necessary thing. It had to be done. It was very obvious that only when you merge you'll make the company, because we had gone through a very annihilating time. So that it was like a most obvious thing to do. And I'm always, after you run a listed company, it's not your own fiefdom. There are so many other shareholders that you have to think about. So I never looked at that, oh, I'll have one more partner, or I'll have a joint brand. I said, okay, how do you make the company survive? How do you go through this turmoil period? Secondly, I'm privileged because I've got a very good team. I've got a great CFO. I've got my brother with me, Sanjeev. I've got, who handles a bulk of the business. Jains are excellent partners. They've got other businesses, but they understood that they've got other businesses.
I met them briefly in France with the Prime Minister, and then, of course, they were present there.
Yeah, so they also said that one person should handle it. Gautam Datta is there, Kamal Gyanchandani is there, Pramod Arora is there, Alok Tandon is there, Renault is there. I don't want to leave anybody out. I've got a great team. I'm privileged to have a good team. Deepa's here. so many people are there. So they all help you navigate. And as I said, it's not a business that is alien to me. If you keep doing one business over a long time, you better understand how to do that business. And I've run listed companies, so therefore, God was kind, and ultimately it is the Almighty which helps you navigate.
Which is why my next question to you is that how do you actually look back at your businesses, such as opening up the country's first ever laser XT IMAX, the possibility of bringing the facility like analog 70mm IMAX film projector to India, and yet being a devil's advocate, I must ask you, how do you actually come up with the arithmetic of rupees 10,000 a ticket? I mean, don't you think that
10,000 ticket?
10,000 for a family spending in such a for a combined family ticket. I mean, that's a bit too prohibitive, considering that there is an onslaught by the Netflix, Amazon Prime, Sony Live. Do you think that comes into mind as well?
You know, I think there are two different mediums of delivery. OTT platforms during the COVID period, definitely the decibel level and their importance and significance became very, very high, because cinemas were shut for 18 to 24 months. So people were consuming over there. But if you look at a normalized situation, TV shows primarily are what gets consumed on OTT, and movies, unless they're commissioned by an Amazon, unless it is commissioned, like Archie's got commissioned by Netflix, typically a movie's journey is theatrical run for 8 weeks, and then it comes to the OTT platform. So first of all, it's not an either or situation. You go to a cinema to watch a movie, first you see it over there, and then it comes to the OTT platform. So consumers in India have such a major FOMO, to use the lingo of that they will, if they know Dunki is good, if they know 12th Fail is good, they're not going to wait for 8 weeks for it to come on the OTT platform. So they will come out. That's one answer somewhere to the question that you asked.
Right.
The other is that how do I have a 1500 rupee ticket or a 10,000 rupee outing? That's because for me the market is very disparate. There is a market, and by the way, only 12 or 13% of our cinemas are luxury and premium.
Correct.
85% of my cinemas are still, if you look at our last results, average ticket price was 260 rupees.
Correct.
In fact, if I remove the 1500 rupee ticket, the average will even come down to maybe 220 rupees.
Right.
So I'm very cognizant of the fact that to get 200 million people, I have to make my price point very accessible and affordable. At the same time, the positioning of the company will always be aspirational.
Right.
I want to make an aspirational product. So 1500 and 10,000 rupee outing is addressing that consumer who's got a home theater as big as this in his house, who's used to luxury, who's used to getting pampered. So that consumer also I want to get out of his house.
Right.
But there's another customer who's very, very value conscious.
Right.
Uske liye we've also got 99 rupee offer of FNB.
Right.
Uske liye we've also got passport. I've also got ticket price at 150 rupees. So the positioning of this 1800 screens that we've got is for the accessible and aspirational customer at 150 rupees also, and another aspirational customer who is not that price sensitive, but is more service and experience sensitive.
Correct.
So otherwise you can't have a pan-India presence, and you can't say I'm going to get all the consumers out. So that's how I address it. I look at the needs of a certain demographic and give them this. I look at the need of another consumer who wants to really have a good time, good sound, good projection system, good seating, but doesn't want to pay more than 200 bucks.
Right.
So that's how you basically try to get everybody.
Why I asked you this question was because as someone who has been a committed patron of PVR Group all these 20 years, whether I was a student or a journalist later on in my life, the recent Netflix example which you gave of the arches is a worrying concern for me when the dynasts or the nepo kids like Suhana, Agastya or Khushi, they prefer to make their debut on OTT and not come on the big 70mm screen like their fathers or their mothers. Then it becomes a little worrying concern for me that why would they choose Netflix? Because personally I would not have loved to see arches on Netflix. I would have loved to see these kids who have emulated their fathers or their mothers on the big screen sitting with my family. I would still love to do that.
I'm not worried because people are doing what they feel like. I think OTT platforms also provides a great opportunities to actors to show their talent in TV shows or movies which are commissioned, and also come on the big screen. So I'm as you said, I have one leg of my business is in the film fraternity. They want to do both. So Zoya's got a Tiger Baby, which she can make a Dahad, she can make an Archies. She's also got Excel, for which she can make a big movie like Dil Dhadakne Do. She can make Gully Boy, or she can make what she feels like. So I think what is happening to the film fraternity is they're making the most of the platforms that are available to them. The economic rationale of coming on the big screen is not lost out on anybody, because a movie like Kantara, which is made for 20 crores, did 300 crores. A movie like Vidhu Vinod Chopra's 12th Fail, 10 crores, another 5 crores, is going to end up doing 85 crores. This they cannot get on OTT because the cost plus. So I think people are free birds. They're creative butterflies. So yeah.
So give a counterpoint to this. The fact today is that most of the directors or the filmmakers that you are naming today, they have come to a position only because of the phenomenal success that they saw because of Pathan, KGF, Jawan. That was all in the theaters. If that would not have happened, they would not have decided to venture into OTT either. So I mean, it's both ways as well.
Luckily, India is a very volume-based country. So there's so many people out there making movies that if one or two decide to make for small screen, it's okay because there are so many other available to replace them. Correct. So if one or two, kids of these actors go there, I'm 100% sure they'll come on the big screen because Sohana and Shah Rukh are making a movie, a superhero film that he just read somewhere. That's also going to come on the big screen. So I think people are allowed to make their choices. They're allowed to sort of creatively do what they feel like, and it doesn't worry me at all.
Of course, I mean, one last question. That now that we see IMAX, 4DX, Playhouse Gold, Luxe, Drive-In and Director's Cut, all your luxury cinema houses, coming into 2024, when there is going to be huge rush for Lok Sabha elections as well, and people are going to relax for the next 3 or 4 months, do you personally believe there's going to be a price cut, or you feel that what is happening in these luxury houses?
It's already low. As I said, my price is already 260 rupees. So, and we've got so many offers with our passport, this thing, that Monday to Thursday, for 7.99 you can watch 10 movies. Now I think another one is coming out. I think we will not outprice ourselves.
But are cinema houses the future of this country as well, considering that you are also looking into tie up with the French group as well to bring that
the future of
house is sort of a look?
No, future of both. Future is that because I said India is such a big...
BKC is also one example.
Yeah. So at the same time, you're forgetting about Ujjain, you forget about Bhubaneswar, you forget about Ajmer, Kadalur. यहाँ भी तो खोले 150 रुपए पे.
तो मैं ये जिक्र इसलिए किया क्योंकि आपने उज्जैन का भी नाम लिया. उज्जैन, बनारस, ये ऐसे शहर हैं जहाँ पे अब कनेक्टिविटी भी है मौजूद. तो अयोध्या में भी आ गई है.
खोल रहे हैं, हर जगह खोल रहे हैं.
Do you think that these places will also have these streams as well, which are now mass connected with India, considering that there is going to be a direct flight between Delhi and Ayodhya? There are direct flights between Delhi and Banaras as well.
That's the beauty of our business. People consume content outside the big screen everywhere. Right. And we are already in, I think, 117 cities now.
Correct.
And so we want to be in every city possible where there is consumption. So दोनों का future है. जहाँ हम बैठे हैं, इस तरह की cinemas का भी future है because of the aspirational customer. और 150 rupees or 100 rupees का customer का भी future है. So that's the beauty of the disparity of the demographics of India.
Right. Which was the last movie that you saw in your own cinema house? Pathan, Jawan, Dunki, or any other movie?
I saw last night in this cinema where we are sitting 12th Fail.
Excellent. So thank you so much, Mr. Bijli. It was pleasure knowing you here and meeting you in flesh. This interview comes at a time when we are wrapping up the content for this year 2023 and we head off into a new year. Of course, best wishes to you and thank you for bringing Onkar, the modern avatar of Vishnu, Guru Nanak Dev, to the fore through your singing and through the big direction of Rakesh Omprakash Mehra. We look forward to seeing you, sir, bringing grand success to the PVR group and also bringing entertainment to us as well.
For such fine news breaks and video features from ground on your mobile phones, don't forget to subscribe to our channel, The New Indian, by clicking on the bell icon. Also, follow us on the social media handles on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook and Co.